if you're not going to allow me to come and sit down with you and tell you, hey, these are how I'm feeling, A, B, C, D, but you're all for mental health advocacy, may I look at you na kupatia question mark?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Lock and Key. You're with me, Rozette. And with me, I have two guests, and they're going to introduce themselves.
I'll go first. My name is Wanjira, Nyakwezi. How are you guys doing?
I'll go second. My name is Stephano, Wairagu, and I'm so glad and so happy to be in Lock and Key. First podcast. A bit nervous, kidogo, but I'm good.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys coming. And today's conversation is, as a man, men want to be seen as masculine. They want to have that respect, and the only way most of the time you guys have it is when you guys don't get emotional or you don't get to talk about your feelings and stuff. But at the end of the day, okay, not everyone knows that men have insecurities. It's always about women because women's insecurities are voiced more compared to guys. So I want to ask, do men really have insecurities?
Definitely, yes. We are humans, so we definitely do have insecurities. In fact, tunaweza sema a lot of insecurities. Yes.
Now the question is, why don't people have that conversation?
So one is how the world has perceived men to be. The world has perceived men to be as people, as strong men, wale watu wenye like wako na nguvu ya kufanya anything, as the superpower of the world and all that. So basically the world imeleta men to be as people who can stand on themselves, you see. So that's one. Number two, pia kuna toxic masculinity that comes from my first point, that you men shouldn't cry.
Yeah.
You men should be able to deal with your own things well. You men should mnafaa kukaa hapo, mkae strong and all that. Yeah, so basically it's that, those 2 points here too. Basically how the world has perceived men to be, and toxic masculinity because of the first point I said. Yes.
I have a question because you brought that up. Now I think every guy is aware of toxic masculinity and what comes with it. But when it comes to like insecurities and those things, would you say as guys, like with your fellow friends or whatever, that if all of you are, like, let's say you're 5 guys, you're all aware that you're all going through different things in life and it's a bit hard. Do you guys like talk about what you're going through as friends, like emotionally, whatever it may be, insecurities, or you might be depressed or stuff like that? Do you feel like you have surrounded yourself, or let me rephrase, do you feel like guys are afraid of telling their male friends what they're going through because they feel what they're going to say might be used against them?
Okay, so one, it basically depends. Because I personally, it depends on the people around me, how I could open up to them. You see, there are certain men when you hawezi open up to their fellow men. Example, these certain men who can't open up to their fellow men, like they go to the clubs and all that. Kama like nimekuwa in this situation in a long time. So example, my 5 boys tumeenda club, tumeenda kukunywa and all that. That's when unapata the men open up to each other. Aki bro, manze holiday, whatever. Iyo time ni pombe zinawashow. You see. And this other group of men, the vulnerable men who can sit in an area, waseme, today we are going to talk about all our insecurities and all kila kitu yenye inatusumbua kwa hii dunia and all our hizo stress zote. So unapata mwanaume mmoja anaongea, huyu mwingine anaongea, then at the end of it all wanakuja kusaidiana tu as the circle, you see. But rarely men do that, you see. They rarely do that because of how should I trust you enough to keep for me that insecurity of mine? how should I trust you to not use it against me? You see, how should I trust you kesho asubuhi nisikupate umeni backstab? You see, so naweza sema sometimes trust issues inakamingi through, but sometimes pia the fact that I can't open up to someone who I haven't been with in a long time, ama someone who can't feel the same situation I'm in as I am. Unaona, like sizi enda ku-open up ya mse mwenye hajapitia situation yenye nimepitia, because maybe I can open up to him but he won't understand whatever I'm going through. Ataniambia tu ka strong bro, hivyo tu ndio inafaa. You see? Yes.
That's brutal, man. No, but like I hear you. Like you see how you've also mentioned like the whole clubbing situation. I don't know if this is just me, but there's some people who believe that the flashiest of men, in terms of how they show that they're splurging and very gift giving and those things, are kind of the most insecure in the sense when it comes to their relationships with women, because most of the time they do project their insecurities on the female.
Yeah, very true.
Because they know she can take it instead of his guys, because they know his guys will be like, I zip. Like, no, they shut it down. So I have another follow-up. Do you think that men with like insecurities are toxic partners?
I'm just gonna say very, and then you continue.
So I'd say yes and I'd say no. Let's start na hiyo yes. Okay, tuanze na no. Tuanze na no. No, because it's basically a mindset. To me, it's basically a mindset that yes, I can be insecure with a lot of things. Naweza pitia trauma, naweza pitia all those stuff. But mindset yangu inaweza ni show that not all people are the same. You see, naweza example, naweza date Rozette. You see, then nijue Rozette isn't the same as my ex. You see, with that mindset, naweza lower my toxicity in her. But as long as she would understand where I'm coming from, as long as naweza toa a certain insecurity, like say my girl cheated, my ex cheated, right? Naweza toa some insecurity kidogo tu, like kale tu kidogo, that bana umekuwa wapi and all that. As long as your insecurity iko, but as long as she'll be able to deal with that insecurity by things like communication, things like reassurance, things like vitu ka hizo, that toxicity haitakuwa, you see. But yes, let's run to the point of yes to that. Men, they'll project their insecurities because number one, they want to feel validated. Number two, wanataka like hawataki kupitia what they pass through. They don't want to go through the same trauma. You see, let's run to the first point nilitoa. How the world has perceived men to be. Iyo na I point ya validation, exactly. Tuseme validation. Tuseme I'm projecting my insecurities. I'm toxic to my girlfriend at the moment. Huyo mwanaume atakuwa hapo akisema that me staki, I will never trust someone. I'll never love someone the same way as I used to, because staki kupitia the same trauma. You see, that's why utapata tu anaendelea tu kuwa toxic, anaendelea kuwa toxic, na that I won't open up to her. I won't tell her how my traumas have been. That's why ataendelea tu kuwa toxic. That's why you won't understand where I've come from, because sita ku-open up here. Nitaka tu na hiyo feeling inside me. Because opening up comes inakuja in a lot. You see, naweza ku-open up here as my girlfriend, but ita depend how you'll take it. You see, naweza ku-open up here how trauma yangu, but sasa itakuwa hard for me to open up to you because I don't know how you'll take it. Sijui kama naweza kupenda, yes, naweza kupenda, but nitakuwa na ile insecurity ya I'll open up to you, what will happen next? You see, like kutenda aje, nitaku open up pia juu ya girlfriend yangu alifanya hivi na hivi na hivi, but will you do the same? Or will you reassure me? Like ni the outcome too. The outcome ndio inaweza kuwa somehow kidogo an issue.
Okay, yes. Now you've mentioned a good thing of mentioning your past, like what has led to your insecurities. Now, with you have mentioning or being opened to your partner, there is a manipulation that takes place. And I'm saying this as a girl who has experienced someone voicing their insecurities on me, which I did not have an issue. But there's a manipulation that takes place in the sense that of, my ex did this to me and now you're acting like her, you're giving me flashbacks and those things. I feel like in that situation, maybe I could have done something really small, but because you are so not healed from your past, anything is a trigger for you, And I think the biggest mistake is not talking about it in a healthy way, number one, true. Taking the time to actually go through character development. There's no issue. Heal, So, but Rozette, you said yes, you believe that they're toxic.
I do, and I have something to say.
Please.
Okay.
Please say.
Okay, in a relationship, because most of the time I've seen this, the guy is insecure, and he has a fine babe, a very fine one. Because in most situations, I would say, I don't want to call medium ugly guys. They get fine chicks.
Fine girl.
Yeah. So like in a situation like that, the man projects his insecurities to the girl, and to my scare, like, you know what? No one is ever gonna love you like I love you, and all that. So the chick is like wondering why, like, what's happening? Like, why is it like this? In a situation like, for example, like going out, the chick is pretty, she looks nice and all that. Boy anakam namsho, unaenda. Why you dressed all up like that? Like, the girl is like, I've been going out like this, like, what's the issue? Like, what's the problem? Like, that's very toxic.
They would want you to dub yourself down, reduce volume, so that they can be projected in a way that they're superior, superpower.
Like, you're just insecure, admit it.
And there's nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong with
There's
it.
nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Mi najuanga that's manipulation in a way. That's manipulation. That's toxicity. Because I personally, let's say when I get into a relationship, you do you, I do me. Unaona, wefanya kitu utafanya. Bora tu utafanya the right things. Bora tu mi nitafanya the right things. So it depends tu ni wanaume wagani. You see, different men have different perspectives. Different men have different opinions about things and all that. But it's the same way. It's the same way different schools have different methods of teaching. You see, so like, unaweza toka hii shule hujasoma kitu, but unaweza toka hii shule umesoma kitu. Unaweza enda Strath utoke hapo kwa businessman, unaweza enda shule ingine utoke like kama hauna anything. The same way to different men, you see. And it's I can say it's sijui nitasema generation ama it's the way dunia iko nowadays. Unaona venye kila mtu anasema Nairobi. The same way kila mtu anasema Nairobi. Msata ingia na hiyo mentality. Like mimi nikiingia na relationship najua tu huku ni Nairobi, so Nairobi haiwezi kuwa na the same relationship, unaona. So hata kama niko na udem, let me not nitaka my guard up. So in case afanye tu hivi, mimi nani huyo chap, I live, you see. So kwa hiyo point ya, let's say, dressing and all that, like it's the man ndo anataka kukua superior in a way, you see. It's the man anataka validation with that, unaona. Then in some way insecurity inatokea hapo, cause anaona that ukivaa hivyo unaenda club
You go and cheat.
Dance,
Kucheat.
and all that. So that's the mentality different men have. You see, una vibe, enda klabu, enda klabu, unaenda kuonyesha nani. Different men have different opinions. Unaona, saa kuna mwanaume mwenye atasema, wow, you look nice, hadi nitakusaidia kudress hivyo and all that. But kuna mwingine mwenye atasema, msupa unaenda wapi hivyo?
I get what you're saying, because like I think also there's something we've forgotten to mention is like insecurities come from somewhere.
True.
You know,
Definitely.
Like maybe in certain situations, like if you look in the relationship sense, like he dated a few couple of girls whereby they were super, dressing is a thing, they're on 10, and they gave him hell. He was stressed. Paka is like, umeni affect, I cannot take it, you have me a chokehold, I'm done. Like the next person I'm dressing and I reduce volume. There's no for looking hot. You look in the middle, average, not above average, average. Like I understand it, but do I accept it? No. Another thing I also want to like look at is male figures in terms of how you get those insecurities. Your fathers.
Very true.
Growing up, your father is, for boys, that's the one person you'll emulate in a second, like without a question. So I don't know if I don't know how to structure this question, but let me see if I can do it best. Do you believe that insecurities can be passed on?
I actually believe. Oh, okay.
I do believe. Yes.
Through, not only by the dad, but by seeing how the parents, the dynamic between them. If he's a bit narcissistic in his manipulation, or you can see he tells his mother, why are you wearing that color doesn't look good on you, very rude, very hostile and those things. So that's my question. Do you think it's generational?
Yeah, it can be passed because when you umesema insecurities come from something, like kuna origin ya insecurity. Na that's true, that's really true, because mi siwezi kuwa insecure leo because I've not passed through something. You see, siwezi kuwa na trauma because sijapitia kitu. You see, so insecurities come from something, either kitu umepitia, either your parents, either one thing. Because example, leo nibiwe simu, tomorrow nikipata simu ingine sitatemea na hii simu hivi, nitaificha, nitaiweka ndani mahali. Kesho nitemea na hii sweater, ipite iraruke mahali. The other day nitajua this kind of sweater, it's easy, ni rahisi kuraruka, so sitanunua that kind of sweater. You see, so insecurities come from something. I have this friend of mine, akona insecurities imekuja from parents wake, but it can be halted, it can be stopped. You see, yes, imekuja from the parent, that parent. Yes, imekuja from that one, but in a way, yes, atakuja kuproject kwa their people, kwa I'll say this person X. So this person X ana project hizo insecurities zenye aliona za budake akipass to the mom and all that, alikuwa anaona. So from the time alikuwa born to this time, alikuwa tu aligrow up in such an environment. You see, like example, my dad, unapata anaambia mamake this and it's negative, and I grew up in that environment. You see, that's an insecurity, and that insecurity and trauma, wacha niseme trauma, that's a really big trauma amepitia. You see, so that trauma anakuja ana project to someone. You see, that projection to someone ndio ina push away that person and all that. But basically, ilifika point akapata someone that ana try to curb that trauma, you see, by reassurance, by kumpenda, by doing the things that zenye zinafanya hiyo trauma iishe pole pole. You see, by reassurance to basically actually kitu yenye naonanga that in a way curb insecurity ni reassurance na basically reassurance. Na reassurance is not ati things will be okay.
No, I know what you mean. Like
Exactly.
you give, because that person has an insecurity, you give them security.
Exactly.
So with that, like what you've said, like reassurance and those things, but I feel like that person has to want, there's a way these insecurities are weighing you down.
Very true.
True.
You actually even, like there's a guy, like one of my guy friends said, as in honestly, Wanjira nimechoka na hizi wasichana za kunipeleka mbio. I'm done. Me, I want a wife. I don't want these girls. I want a wife. And when someone says like I want something and they know that they're ready and they've taken the time to heal, I even feel like when you've reached that time where you want that reassurance and someone's giving you that security back, you've kind of taken the first few steps in healing yourself from dealing your insecurities.
True.
There are some people where they're dating guys with insecurities like the worst. The girl is there giving reassurance, security. You'd think home girl is some security company here for us, bana. But they're still toxic. Like they're still very insecure. And some of the girls I've met who are in those situations, I even had a friend of mine back in Malaysia. That was a horror story, I won't even lie. But you'd see she gives reassurance and whatever. He gets really physical with her and stuff like that, and be like, why did you talk to me like that? Who told you to get out of the house? Who told you to even wear that? Like, why are you talking to him? Who is he? Even female friends, who is she? What does she do? Where is she from?
To be talking to.
In they become they graduate from boyfriend to interrogator very quickly. Even that person who's being ostracized is like, where did this come from?
Happening.
Like, is this me? Am I Nipombe? It's the air I'm breathing? Like, So, but like, I truly believe, like, for someone to be accepting of those nice things and of a really, like, such partners has gotten tired of the insecurities. There's some people who choose to live in denial and be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Me, I'm happy. That time they're depressed. They see a guy who even might be there with them kokoteni, is happy, has a kabib from the kiosk, and they're in love. And that's what he wants. But he's too proud. I honestly believe pride masks insecurities very well.
Very true.
Yeah, true.
Very well.
And also I think that security comes from self. Like siwezi acha kuwa insecure kama sijakubali I'm insecure.
Thank you.
See, siwezi acha kuwa insecure kama sijakubali that I myself need to curb that insecurity. You see, because example, that person when you umesema, your friend from Malaysia, like huyo dem anaongelesha the boyfriend, but the boyfriend gets physical and all that. It comes from akili kwanza, inakuja kwa akili. Because mi akili yangu ikisema I need to change, I need to listen to her, I need to give her a moment to talk to me, and I need to change, I need to get that security. The moment umekuwa na hiyo mindset ya I need to get that security, that's a step in doing so, you see. So the same way tu nimesema different people have different opinions. So kuna mwanaume mwenye hataki kabisa hiyo insecurity iende. Yeye kabisa amesema mi dunia is always the same, kila mtu ni the same. So yeye hata curb that insecurity. But this other person mwenye ako positive about life anasema outside there are nice people, outside there kuna watu wenye wataniweka palipangu, hata kama kuna toxic masculinity wataniweka palipangu. So basically it comes from self. Insecurity, to fix that insecurity inakuja from self. You see, self meaning that mimi niki-accept that I'm like this, I'll curb that insecurity. Niki-accept that manze hii simu yangu inaweza ibiwa kesho, nitaifunga, nitaiweka vizuri. You see? So basically, that's inakuja from self.
I don't know. I think even someone would say, because of the way girls were so big on self-love and self-care. I think that's something a lot of like guys aren't for it. I even watched some video the other week. I can't remember his name. And he was mentioning how like guys really need to start getting into that whole thing of self-love and self-care.
They do, actually.
Yeah. But there are very few who will I know some of them low key, but they're too embarrassed to say I partake in self-love, self-care, and just saying, you know what, me have my insecurities. Sometimes they'll come to light. It is life, but we're all humans. And I think there's something, I don't know if it's just Nairobi or it's the world, but there's something I've noticed with Nairobi in the sense that there's because we are human beings expected to be perfect. And I feel like with guys, you guys really have that pressure amongst yourselves. So to even show an ounce of like vulnerability, you get praise from women like, woo, yes, a man who's vulnerable. So a man them will be like, yo, I wish I could be like you, I could talk. But that's very few guys will come up to you and tell you that. True. Most guys will come up to and tell you, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
Like, what are you
doing?
Are you that stressed?
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're also contradicting themselves of mental health. Of, if you're ever depressed, please come and tell me. So I'm like, hypocritical, like...
Very.
If you're not going to allow me to come and sit down with you and tell you, hey, these are how I'm feeling, A, B, C, D, but you're all for mental health advocacy, may I look at you na kupatia question mark? Because even may I be like, you're insecure. You're just too proud to say, and there's nothing wrong. Emotion has no gender, bana.
I feel like platform ya men to speak about their mental health imekuwa so kidogo, like men kupewa hiyo platform ya kuongelelea issues like imekuwa kidogo. You see, men wanaweza ongea, yes, men wanaweza enda hapo kwa social media waseme, hey guys, today I've cried a lot and all that, but say Twitter, mwanaume tu ameenda hapo vizuri bila stress tu, amesema today I've cried a lot. Unaona tu mtu mwingine hapo amekuja hapo chini amecomment, wewe ni mwanaume bana, hizi nini unasema? You see, that's something that itawapush away kabisa, because mimi tena sasa nitakuwa na insecurity ya sitaiongelea issue tena, you see, because of that. So platform ya men kuongea their insecurities, men kuongelelea their mental health is kidogo, like ni ile kidogo kabisa. Like hata ukiingia that platform, like either utakuwa bashed, either utaambiwa you're a man, deal with your problems peke yako and all that. That sums up to self-love in a way. Self-love inasaidianga ku curb that mental health. Because me personally, wacha nianze tu example yangu. Self-love yangu inanipea this drive ya kufanya things in a different way, drive ya work out, drive ya kufanya business yangu, drive ya get the bag, chase the bag and all that. That's self-love. Nini inaitwaje? Skincare routine, hizo zote. Hiyo ni self-love inasaidianga sana in mental health. And that example, this friend of mine, again, person X, a different friend, sawa, person Y amepitia a breakup juzi. So this person Y kupitia that breakup, it didn't haikumwangusha. Yeye alisema this breakup is something that itani push, you see. So akasema to let me just be myself, wacha nijipende and all that. So akaanza ku work out, akaanza ku chase the bag vizuri and all that. Right now that person, and this guy is a positive guy, mwenye anasema it is what it is, ili happen hivyo, another person atakuja atanifanyia vizuri and all that. So this guy nowadays, like hiyo kitu haikumuumiza sana, like it took kidogo to accept that fact that I'm not with this person again and all that. So like akakuwa positive, akasema tu wacha tu niendelee na life and all that. So like akaanza kujipenda vizuri, akaingia gym, akachase the bag, and right now that person, like he's at a better position because like mental health yake iko pazuri. Because the reason mbona nasema hivyo ni that mental health ni ile ukipata hapa pesa, unaonanga watu wakisema mimi mashida zangu zote zitakuwa fixed nikipata pesa.
Which is not true.
It's not true, yes, but ita curb kidogo to that mental health, because kesho ukiona things are working your way, utaona
there's a morale it gives.
Exactly. A morale it gives. Kesho ukienda gym uone body yangu imekuwa nini kidogo, at least kama mental health yako ilikuwa 0 itapanda to 5. Kesho ukiona kesho naingiza 50,000 kwa account, mental health yako itapanda kidogo. So men waache history ati kujipenda ni umama, ati kufanya skincare routine ni umama and all that, because basically self love inasaidianga sana. I'm really big on self love, and I'm really big on jipende.
Love yourself.
The same way mademo wana dressing you well, the same way mademo nafanya skincare, wanajipeleka dates and all that. Pia men wanahitaji kuadapt your culture, because ukifanya hivyo itasaidia, like ina kuhelp grow in a way. So hata kama like you won't be able to go out there and say your problems, wewe mwenyewe utajiambia those problems, and by accepting the fact that uko na those problems, by giving yourself love enye haujapewa, utarise kidogo, like utapata tu your platform ya kurise, your platform ya kukab that mental health, ya kukab that insecurity and all that. So at the end of it all, things itakuwa better, unaona.
Yeah. Because there's something I thought of recently. Like, I think guys really like to run away from their insecurities. True. Even when their own male peers have noticed, like, hey, our guy is going through something. Haven't you seen he's like having a bit of like some spats or some outbursts? If you ask him a question, he loses his mind or he gets rude with you. I think there's a fear of like just opening up. And even when, like, let's say his fellow peers would be like, hey, my G, like, we've noticed, like, is everything okay? And they start to name all your insecurities without you even having to say them. He's like, aye, watch your story, please, let's move on next. As in, I don't want to be found there. So I think it also just really, I think if you've been exposed to how to deal with things in a healthy way, that's one. But also, you have to go through life and, like, really chop out a few bumps to understand true. How to navigate yourself in the sense of like your insecurities and emotions, because those go hand in hand. Because you do, like, someone who doesn't know you can bring up your insecurity and you're like, hey, man, I don't know you, and anger can just erupt out of nowhere. So like there's I understand what he's saying. Like, guys haven't really been given that, the platforms that are there, they're there, but guys are not going there, because if they go there, someone will just come and start bashing them. The only time where guys are now like allowed to show a bit of vulnerability is even like at funerals, and it has to be like of a parent. That one makes sense, or a sibling, or if they were close with their grandparent, sawa. But if it's now like with their friends, you'll see, if it's a best friend, you'll see them cry. Some you'll just see them stunya, like they're not moving, And I'm just at that point where, like, guys, imagine you cried as a kid. You are human. Toa machozi if you want to cry. Laugh if you want to cry. Say you're not in the mood of talking and you want to talk about it later. Like, it's okay. But kujifanya that you're perfect all the time, or that you don't have any insecurities, at the end of the day, you're not bettering yourself. You're just taking yourself backwards. And then you're going to end up hurting other people. No, hurt people. Sure. You're going to project it on a dame. Who's going to project it on another man? Now him is going to say, girls, we are finished. Women are dangerous. You see, like, honestly, I believe these generalizations all come from insecurities. Like, because people have refused to deal with them, be it male or female, There's some females where I've seen they control a man them. Paka, me, I'm like, okay. All right. And now me as a parent, I'm like, hey, I have to start now, telling my son it's okay, cry, there's no issue. Like,
crying is okay.
It's normal. Okay. Like, it's actually even making me know you have a heart.
Exactly.
Then when, like, I want you to be able to laugh and those things, like, it's important to teach those things. Because I also had this conversation with my friend where now, me, I'm a single mom. I'm having people come into my life. Yeah. I have a boy child.
Yeah.
I have to make sure that the people who are in my life and are in his life, emulate good vibes. Me staki mtu akona toxic masculinity next to my son. May I'll rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
No, thank you. We are not sambazing. We are not returning generational curses. Please. We need to just encourage you. Like, even the way guys come and tell shorties their problems, I think that in itself says enough. Very few guy groups will sit together in a sober setting.
Yeah.
And be like, hey guys, see we play PS Banner, I'm stressed. While you're there playing PS, you'll be like, imagine that girl. Imagine my mom is giving me stress, my sister, school, all those things, you know. Instead of maintaining shut up, just
imagine crying. Crying is okay. Crying is okay now. Basically crying is okay. Because crying pia na remove a load from your back. Crying ina remove a load from your back. Na like ukilia inatoa hiyo uchungu. Kuna venye inatoa hiyo uchungu kabisa. So basically crying is okay even for men. Men si lazima ulilie mtu. Enda home, enda bedroom yako.
Even in the shower. Even in the shower is the best.
Enda ulie, go cry, and after that crying, like itakuwa better from that. Because me personally, nikipitia kitu neza, like kitu kubwa kabisa neza lia, yes, but after that after crying, like I'll feel like I need to do something ndio nisilie next time. You see, because kama for example sai nimelose simu yangu, nitalia leo, kesho I'll start working towards getting another phone, and I'll start working towards providing security for my other phone. You see, because ukikosa kulia utaibiwa simu, sema mimi ni mwanaume, kesho nitapata simu nyingine. Hautatoa solution ya venye nitaweka hiyo simu. Unaona, hautatoa solution ya venye nita provide security for that other phone. You see, na pia ukikosa kulia pia, saying that you're a man, in a way itakusongesha nyuma kidogo, cause like hauta provide solutions. Cause the same way tukiwa primary tulikuwa tunachapwa tunalia, tukichapwa kulia alafu tulie, the next exam hauta fail cause utaogopa kulia tena, kuchapwa tena. So basically hiyo example to like inasaidia, cause crying yes inasaidia, but cry with a solution.
I also believe like you can cry, find an outlet. Sharing a problem is a problem half solved,
true,
you know.
Yeah.
But I have another good question. Do you think culture is really a good reason for why men are how they shelter their insecurities?
The same way as you guys had said, like family, how you've been raised, it accumulates the insecurities. I actually believe in that, because as kids learn to emulate what their parents are teaching them. If they see you cry and they'll be like, no, you're not supposed to cry, you're a man, you're supposed to be tough. You're gonna grow up knowing I'm not supposed to cry, so I need to be tough. Even in situations like where you feel like you need to vent out, you find something else to vent out. For example, like alcohol, drugs. It's an easier way for you to vent out so that you can't show your emotions through crying. And I have a question. Do you feel like social media plays a huge role? Let me just put it in the sense of hypocrisy in social media. Insecurities. Because I'm just going to talk about celebrities, men. For example, like when guys are going through a tough situation and they put it out there, the celebrities, right? For a minute, guys are going to look at it and they're not going to have that conversation like in the comment section, or guys are not going to have that meaningful conversation. But then now later, let's say like suicide, a guy has killed himself. That's when you're seeing people coming like, oh, sorry, blah, blah, blah. Like, why wouldn't you have that conversation in the beginning?
I should have mentioned it before, kind of. Like that thing of where guys are like, oh, if you're ever depressed, and come and have a conversation with me. But then like if you come and sit and tell them, hey, this is what I'm going through, that door is closed. I think when you look at like social media, and you look at Western, like the States and those sides, and you look at us guys here, very few African men will put their business out on social media. Number one, they're not ready for scrutiny. They're living a peaceful life. They want to chop life. and not let life chop them. Second, they don't want to be on news outlets where people are talking about, Burna Boy is depressed, or he's put on weight, what. But the interesting thing is when you look at Western media, especially like Will Smith, what he did recently, talking about how he had put on weight and he was not happy with his life and those things. Like when such a person does those things, it's not put on blast the way it should be, because he's a black man. There's no difference between his skin color and some people in this continent, you know. So I just feel like Western media is very accepting of it.
Yeah.
African media, bado. It's like we just started mental health, like talking about these things, Juicy. It's gonna take a minute for people to talk about it. Like it's gonna take a while. Because for females, it's much easier. You know, we are deemed to be very empathic creatures. Like we're known to be very emotional. With you guys, culture has set in stone. You guys are breadwinners. You're langumu, you're hard as rocks. Nothing soft or light as a feather. No, y'all are supposed to be stunia, nothing else. So I think when you look at social media in that sense, there are those little of like, they're support, like you'd see African guys are there supporting mental health things, but are they advocating it for the way they should be? No. You know? And also I've noticed like with social media, like if someone has passed away from like suicide and those things, that's when guys are quick to
reaching out
and those things. I lost a friend when like it was traumatizing. I will not lie. That's like the first time I experienced grief in my life, like honestly. And since that day, I made the conscious decision of being that friend who checks in on you. If it's not weekly, bi-weekly, or after every 3 weeks, I check on you, you know. But there are some people who are saying it for clout.
Yeah.
They're not genuinely meaning it.
True.
You know, there's some people where there's some friends where you talk to them today, 3 months later, you just pick up from where you left off. There's some who are like that. But then there's some people who be on for show on like social media that they're caring people, they're about all that stuff. When in real hindsight, nyoka. Snakes.
Yeah, that's where the hypocrisy comes in, because it's really sad, especially this generation where younger people are so into the phone, social media. So like if we're looking at a situation where this conversation is not being taken seriously, who's going to have a serious conversation with me at the end of the day concerning about mental health? You know, because insecurities project mental health. Eating disorders, guys have eating disorders. No one speaks about it. Yeah.
But I know some guys want to be like, hey, man, I want to have that six-pack with the V-lines and everything. I know. Even us girls are like, I know guys have the same insecurities as us, just on a different scale.
Yeah.
The difference is, like, when a chick is like, man, I'm not feeling how I'm looking, she'll start doing her research and she'll be like, okay, no what, when the psych comes, it comes. Some other babes they'll be complaining, I'm feeling so fat, nothing happens. Unamwangalia unasema, babe, it's okay, we accept you for who you are, thank you for voicing your insecurity. You know, but if among them, the only way I've seen guys do that thing of ati they want to better themselves or whatever is if they have found guys in that same WhatsApp group, and mostly someone who they've bumped into at the gym. They've fostered a friendship, or they're friends who've grown up together and their friendship is healthy. There's some friends who've grown up and their relationship no goes on. That's hazardous. But there's somewhere I know that all of them make a conscious decision of, okay, let's help our guy here, let's now be going to the gym, you know. But there are very, very few people who are like that.
Very few.
True.
That's where hata utapata like the wale wenye wanasaidiana kugrow, like where they'll open up to each other, where like wataongelea tu mashida zao and cry wakiwa hivyo, wacheke. That's where now you find the trust, the safe space to talk to that other person, you see. But sasa talking to another person mwenye like umejua tu juzi and he or she hasn't helped you grow, hiyo ndio like utapata ni shida, ni ngori kuongelea that issue, you see. So basically hivyo to like getting people who like help you grow, who like help you progress in life, hapo ndio utapata your safe space in like talking about your problems. Because me naweza sema unaweza pata this group enye mnafanya kazi pamoja, you work together, you go to the gym together, ukiwa at your lowest mnasaidiana, ukiwa na shida ya pesa, like your group tu inachanga inakusaidia. That's a group where like you can say this is a group where I can open up, I can be vulnerable in this group. But ile group yenye mnapatana club and you start talking from there, you don't help each other grow, like kazi tu ni buda uko
sherehe tu,
hiyo amtasaidiana, cause honestly hapo uta open up, but kesho yake utapata huyo boy sasa na kudisregard na kucheki hivi kando anakufunga, like anakudisregard tu, like msi yako na mashida, so atanisaidia aje, you see. So basically finding a group where you can grow together and help each other progress, that's a group where mnaweza ongelea mashida, you can be open and like mtasaidiana. That's the safest place you can be.
I want to be a voice to those in relationships battling through insecurities. Do you think that communication is effective? Like, would you have a conversation with your partner about insecurities? Like, do you think communication is effective in certain situations?
Before I start calling you boyfriend and you call me girlfriend, you need to give me the list of insecurities, because I need to know what I'm walking into.
Yeah.
And I need you to know the luggage I'm bringing. Because it can get quite tense.
Yeah.
You know, like that saying of love makes you crazy is for real. So we can be in a social setting. Let's say a restaurant, not even today. We've gone out for a lunch date or coffee date. A guy tells me, hey, I like your jacket, my friend. If my man them starts twitching his eye, looking like he wants to kill someone, I'm going to leave that relationship that day. Because that means when I get home, I'm dead.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to die.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like communication, yes, it's really important. But also, there are some guys who can have a facade. They can show you, yeah, these are the insecurities. I'm secure with my insecurities. My friend, what do you start being projected for like this, like a movie? You're just being done for a reel after reel.
What I think, communication plays a really important role in a relationship, like both parties. Like, mimi ni kucommunicate my insecurities, then wewe communicate what you think about my insecurities and all that. You see, like mimi I'm a believer of communication inasaidia a lot, inasaidia vitu mingi sana, cause venye umesema mimi unaenda club, unavaa a certain way and this and this and this. I think communication hapo inaweza saidia. Communication pia builds trust, a big trust sana. So basically mimi naweza sema communication si ati hello, hi, niko hapa na hapa.
Yeah.
Hello, hi, I'm going this and this. Communication entails a lot. Like communication ni, hi, how are you doing? Uko poa? What's up? Unafanya nini? And all that. Like communication too. Yes.
Yeah, so if you're gonna have a conversation with your partner about insecurities, also carry comprehension in that conversation.
Yeah, communication and comprehension.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
And comprehension.
I honestly believe it's just, I agree with what you guys are saying, but to some extent, I honestly believe it depends on the person as well.
Yeah,
very true.
Yeah,
Because, you know, the way you've said, like, you've given your insecurity, you've told that person, and then you want to know their opinion. Yeah, for me there, it can be a bit too touchy. Because I don't mind.
Yeah.
But that person on the other side, I can't die.
It depends.
You know, it can get really hectic. So I think it also, when you're having that, you're talking about it and you both share stories and stuff like that, even you'll know how to be sensitive and more compassionate. But also it just depends on the person, because some people pull up some facades. That's one thing we have noticed. Not saying everyone's the same, but we have to communicate and understand, but at the same time depends on that person, because someone can be hearing you, not listening.
Not listening, exactly.
You know, they're just putting in record. She has said this. No problem. Next argument, I'm on you. You know, unlike you who's been open book, you know, this is who I am, take it or leave it, like your positive vibes.
Yeah.
That's a person that I want to know your stories,
Yeah. Now that's where sasa unaweza open up, unaweza fanya nini, and the person mwenye anasikia tu like the person isn't listening, anasikia tu like kweli yako na insecurity. Kesho yake anaamka anaanza ku ghost huyo msee, anasema I can't, msee like siwezi na hizo insecurities zake and all that. That's where now sasa nini nakuja, insecurity nakuja. Unaona like yesterday I opened up to her, kesho yake manze kumeenda vibaya, ameni ghost, unaona. That's where the insecurity pia inakuja, because the next person sita nini. I won't open up to the next person, you see. I won't go tell her that hii na hii insecurities zangu, so mi nitajiekea tu hiyo insecurity. So basically what I'm saying is communication and comprehension. In that communication, venye tu nimesema like I communicate to you my insecurities, tell me what you think about my insecurities. Yes, hautawezana na hizo insecurities zangu. In a way, si must tuseme no saa hiyo. Kuna venye unaweza communicate. It takes time, definitely. Kuna venye unaweza communicate, ndio like kama utampusha wewe vizuri, simpusha wewe mara moja, like ile ya mara moja tu hivyo. You see, that's where insecurities pia zinakuja, you see. So communication and comprehension. I'm a very big believer of communication, because mi nikiwa in a relationship siwezi kuwa insecure kama una communicate to me, unaona. Siwezi kuwa insecure kama unaniambia.
Oh, you brought up a good point. I'm about to throw someone under the bus right now. So there was someone I liked during this year. And I don't know, I'd confessed my feelings for him, and he had decided in his mind, when I had confessed my feelings, he thought me I was asking to his babe. No, there's a difference between expressing emotions and wanting a relationship expressed. Someone tells me, I'm the jealous type. Ati me, I want to see where you are. Ati, not ati phone call. Video.
What?
My friend. I later told that person, good luck. Because let me tell you, I don't know which girl them is going to be up for that.
Wait,
and
like
from me, that was a red flag.
Every single time you're out. Help me understand it.
Yes. What? Because that person is not in this country. Ni Samabani. Ati, so you've said that you want to go out. You're going out with your girls. Ati, he's the one who's told me this nicely. I said, okay, that's a red flag. Start disengaging. But anyways, someone is telling you at wherever you're going. So if I'm in the toilet and you've called me and I say I can't talk to you, I have to take a picture of me on the toilet. Does that make sense? Or if I've gone to go hang out with my family members who've come from a different country, I have to answer your video call. Are you that insecure?
That's crazy.
Me, don't start projecting your trust issues on me, please. Leave it to Jesus. Go and pray. Like, honestly, I don't get, like...
Umejam.
No, I don't understand. And you know, those are the weirdest things. Because I'm like, I'm not giving you that vibe. What makes you think you can? Me, I'm giving you security. Yani G4S, top tier security. You're here asking, please... leave my phone, block me. Just leave me alone. I don't understand those things, because if a girl does it, she's crazy.
Yeah, she's crazy. Like, that's a crazy.
If a guy does it, he's protective, he's possessive, he just wants me. That's a toxic guy. Red flag.
Yeah.
You know, you're not asking that of him. You know, it can make sense if both of you are asking, Sawa, we know how your relationship is. You smother each other, no problem.
Yeah.
You know, but if one party is not doing it and the other party is serious about it, and you have to ask for a visa kwenda mahali. Gee, I want to go hang out with this. I'll be like, my friend, when did we become my father? You know, like, there's some insecurities that are put on girls. She'll start putting it on a guy the next person she dates because she thinks it's okay.
Yeah.
You know? And that time, she's already had her own insecurities. You're just adding. And I know it's the same way with guys.
Yeah.
You can be dating a chick who's a nutcase. Who are you with?
Yeah,
she has trackers on your phone.
Definitely.
Paka, you said, hey, the way this chick has taken me below. Me, the next chick I want someone low-key.
Doesn't ask questions.
Bas, doesn't ask questions. Now, shida na hiyo pia is because she's not asking questions, you want to know where she is.
Yeah.
Haya, you start. Next thing you know, you've been passing the torch. Baton, it's a relay,
you don't even realize.
So, like, I think people forget that same way with hurt, insecurities you pass it on. It's like a virus.
It definitely is, because me nayo project my insecurities to you, pia utakuwa na insecurities zako, because the next person utakuwa na yeye pia like utampelekea pia hizo insecurities, because are you like my previous guy, are you controlling as him, are you like this and this, so utapass on.
And insecurity has like with insecurities, especially in relationship, you find snarky comments coming up about like if you've had an argument, someone would be like, "Hi, you're just like my ex." What? Hey, that's now when that's now where problems. I feel like insecurities actually brings so much toxicness because you never know how to deal with things in such a healthy way. You've not found out. Even when you're communicating, you can be communicating, but the communication is not communicating. Like it's just war.
True.
It's just an argument. You're trying to show who the bigger person is. Me, I'm trying to show you I'm the bigger person. And at the end of the day, nobody's winning. You're all at a loss.
Actually, communication inakuja na perspective. Because communication yangu siwezi kuwa na my perspective na ukwe na your perspective. Yes, neza kuwa na my perspective na ukwe na yako. But the thing yenye itawaleta vizuri is accepting that we are both different in it, then tupatane katikati. Because tusipopatana katikati, that's when sasa communication inakuwa too useless.
Even if you just say, let's agree to disagree, that's enough.
That's
enough. You can be like, you know what, let's continue this argument tomorrow when we've cooled down. Because here, if we continue, it's going to be like World War III. You know? And I just feel like a lot of people need to be aware of how, like, you have insecurities. It's normal.
It's okay.
And it's okay. Like, I sometimes look at myself and be like, I could do better, but it's okay. You know? And there's sometimes where you go through some disgusting encounters with people. Yes, it will give you issues and stuff like that, but remember, just try to take it as a lesson. I feel like with insecurities, if you try find the positive side to them, someone will be like, are you really insecure? You know, there's one of my friends says, hey, me, I'm secure with my insecurities. Nobody can even come for me. Like, even if you start to insult me, I'll be like, you think I was not aware?
I know.
You know? You see, but with guys, if you bring up the insecurity and they don't know you,
it's acceptance.
It's just different. Like, unless that guy knows himself, like, he's okay with who he is. You'll see him, he's like, allow it. He'll be like, cool. Then there's some who are like, do you know who I am? You know, it gets a bit too crazy. But to find those calm people when you bring up those insecurities are very rare people. A lot of people are out here trying to be macho and just run away from the insecurities like they are non-existent and they are not.
True. I feel like the first thing to curbing your insecurities is accepting that you're insecure. Acceptance. That's actually the first thing in dealing with anything. Okay, accept leo sina pesa, kesho you'll work towards getting that money. Okay, accept that I'm insecure today, kesho you'll work towards getting your security. You see, so acceptance hiyo ndio kitu ya kwanza to like
build yourself.
You see, acceptance. The moment ume accept that uko na insecurity, even the next person, let's say in a relationship, tukipatana na wewe, mimi nitawaambia, yes, manze, I know that I'm insecure because of this and this and this. But the thing that itanifanya nikose kuwa insecure is by reassurance and communicating. You see, the moment umefanya hivyo, hapo umekab vitu mbili, umekubali that you're insecure and communicate about what will make you better into it. You see, the moment umefanya hivyo, kama huyo significant wako ni mjanjes, atajua pia mimi nafaa kufanya hivi na hivi to help you grow and to help you do this and this. So pia yeye atakuwa able to accommodate in a way, you see. So basically ni accept too.
Even through like accepting it, I feel like if you don't know how to deal with insecurities, in that sense, you could probably go to your parents or even a close relative of yours and be like, man, hook me up with therapy. I need to go deal with my problems. You know, like just by that, it's the first step to just dealing honestly, and you'll find through that way how even your best outlet is after you've gone through like the therapeuticness of it all. You be like, you find yourself playing rugby, boxing, knitting.
Yeah.
You know, you'll find such positive ways of dealing with it.
True.
That even in a situation where, let's say you're in a sherehe setting and your baby's wilding and it's vexed you, you just tell her, hey, me, I'm going home. Are you coming or not? You leave her with her friends, giving them strict instructions and to take care of each other, and you bounce because you're not trying to lash out on someone. You're even showing them like, hey, me, I've grown. And me, if you're ready to grow with me, let's grow. But if you're not, it's okay. Like, there's a time for everything, you know?
Yeah.
Some are for 5 minutes, some for a season, and some for a lifetime.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and to be honest, people don't really care. That's something I actually discovered. Like, if you cry in public and you think now people are going to look at you like, ukazi ndikulia too. People don't care. Like, people have things to do. So,
but in real sense, there are people who care. There are people who care.
Very few.
But they are very, very few. But wewe in your mindset unafaa tu kujua that hakuna mtu mwenye anajali. I'm alone in this world. Mimi niko mimi on me versus me. That way you'll be able to move, unaona? Yeah, so ni hivyo to like, people don't care, but there are actually people who care. Now in this world, everybody has their good and their bad sides. Unaona? Hapa tunaweza kuwa watu watatu in this, but one out of the 3 is good, au wengine wawili ni wabaya. Unaona? There are 2 people in this world. Hakuna, we can't all be the same. Hatuwezi kuwa sisi wote ni wazuri. So
that would be so basic.
Yeah, ni hivyo tu. It's like that. It's life.
I think also, you know, people, there's also this thing of like, I also feel like insecurities also, you see them through when people are there trying to have like 10 million friends. My friend, that's something my aunt told me, if you have more than 5 friends, you're lying to yourself.
True.
You know? And when I mean those 5 friends, make sure those are the real people, man. Ride or die.
Yeah.
Honest to your face and honest behind your back as well. They have loyalty and they respect you, and you do the same thing for them.
Yeah.
You know? That's, you can even see through someone's company how insecure they are.
Yeah.
They can be hanging out with some raggedy people, man. And they're only there just to kula pesa na kukula happy, you know? Or even just because, hey, you're a popular person, may I want to rock with you, you know? But they actually genuinely don't want to know, hey, who are you? What are you about? You know? What have you gone through? What's your life history? Not many people want to sit down and get to know you these days. You know?
Yeah, true.
Very few people. Like, I've seen it in the club. Someone is there, they have chomad. Me, the normal person I am, I get you water, even if I don't know you. Because, hey, me, I've been in your position before, you know. And someone can be like, why you giving? I'm like, hey, if it was you, would you want someone to just walk past you like nothing? Like, no. So I'm like, why? At the end of the day, guys, we need to remember, insecurities or not, let's treat each other the way you want to be treated.
The way you want to be treated.
Like human beings. We're not perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. We all have flaws. It's such is life. Let's not pretend we're robots. Even robots have to get spoiled once in a while, you know? They have to go under maintenance.
Yeah, and basically doing what's right. Because doing what's right is something that will reduce a lot of problems. Because me say I wouldn't be here nikikunywa pombe because I know it's not right. Because hapa example, kama ningekuwa hapa nikifanya the wrong things, of course ningefukuzwa, of course ingekuwa force, like security angekuja nibebe juu nitoe nje nirushe nje. Basically doing what's right, like you at the back of your mind ukifanya kitu jiulize, will I love mimi mwenyewe nifanyiwe hivi? You see, is this right? Is this the right thing to do? Is this nikifanya hivi na hivi na hivi, how's the outcome? Like itakuwa right kweli nikifanya hivi? So basically doing what's right na kufikiria to whatever you're doing, because na pia ukifanya your other friend this and this and this, think of the outcome, like yeye angenifanyia hivyo ningefeel vizuri and all that. You see, basically doing what's right.
Yeah. And be honest with yourself, to be honest, and create a sounding board for those battling with their minds. You know, create a space where, like, for example, like having this conversation, it's important, you know, create a space where you're able to share such thoughts.
Unapologetically.
Yeah, be yourself. Yeah, so
1000%.
Unless you guys have something else to add.
No.
It was a pleasure having you guys. I enjoyed the conversation. I hope you guys also enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Catch us on YKTV on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Bye.